Hi everyone, and welcome to our presentation, Benefits from Bees, where we'll learn about honeybees and how important they are to agriculture here in the state of Georgia. This presentation comes from Bobby Tenpen and Ryan McDonald of Bobby McBees. This is us, Bobby and Ryan. We're University of Georgia certified beekeepers and are members of the Cherokee Beekeepers Club, the Forsyth Beekeepers Club, and the Georgia Beekeepers Association. Between the two of us, we've been keeping bees for 11 years. Do you know what our favorite part of keeping bees is? The honey. Here's a photo of Mac and I with about 400 pounds of honey that our bees made. Of course, we don't eat all that honey. But what's even more important than honey is that honeybees are the #1 pollinator of agricultural crops here in Georgia. In Georgia, beehives filled with honeybees are used by farmers to pollinate many of the foods we enjoy. Peaches, blueberries, cantaloupe, watermelon, onions, muscadines, apples, squash, cotton, and pumpkins are all crops that need the help of honeybees to be successful. These crops make up more than 30% of the fruits and vegetables produced here in our state and add up to about $336 million per year for Georgia's economy. Did you know that 1/3 of the food that you eat can only happen with the help of bees? Honey's great, but the most important thing that bees do is pollinate flowers. They do this by gathering the nectar and pollen that plants make. Pollination is needed for all kinds of plants to bear fruit or seed, and many farmers depend on bees to pollinate their crops and orchards. When a bee collects nectar and pollen from a flower, some pollen from that flower sticks to the hairs on the bee's body, and then when the bee visits another flower, some of that pollen gets rubbed off. When this happens, fruit and seeds can develop. Flowers make nectar to attract bees because they need their help. The nectar is a great reward. Bees go from flower to flower gathering nectar and pollen so they can take it home to eat and feed baby bees. This is a frame of comb that has cells filled with pollen, some developing larvae, or baby bees, and capped brood on the left. Honeybees feed the growing larva until it's time to close the cell so that the larva can pupate, or change, into a honeybee. This is very similar to the way a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. Here's why bees are such great pollinators. It takes about 1,000 trips by honeybees to create just an ounce of honey. On each of those trips, a single honeybee will visit 50 to 100 flowers. So how many flowers are visited to make just 1 ounce of honey? Up to 100,000. This is why they're so important to Georgia's agriculture. In order to produce 1 pound of honey, 2 million flowers must be visited, and all that flying adds up to about 55,000 miles. Beekeepers that help farmers move their hives to different locations throughout the state and even the country to pollinate food crops and to take advantage of nectar flows. This is called migratory beekeeping. Often, there are semi-trucks loaded with bees crisscrossing the state. Mac and I don't have enough bees to fill a big truck, but we do move our bees around. Migratory beekeeping is not restricted to Georgia. Georgia's commercial beekeepers and beekeepers from other states move their bees around the country offering pollination services for many crops we don't grow here in Georgia, like oranges, grapefruit, sunflowers for sunflower seeds, melons, alfalfa for cattle feed, almonds, avocados, cherries, plums, and canola, which we get canola oil from. As you can see on the map, the routes they take go everywhere. Pollination isn't all beekeepers do, and honey isn't all beekeepers make. We also make more bees. Because of our state's mild climate, Georgia is perfectly suited to help provide new bees to beekeepers all across the country. This is how bees are shipped to other beekeepers so that they can start a new hive. Every colony also needs a queen bee, so a large part of raising bees involves raising queen bees. Although many people make a living from bees, most beekeepers are hobbyists who only have a few hives and simply enjoy working with honeybees, and they need new bees too. Georgia Beekeepers help supply all types of beekeepers with bees. Some beekeepers do sciencey stuff too. Beekeepers all over the state assist researchers, for example, at the University of Georgia Bee Lab and Georgia Tech's Urban Bee Project. The assistance we provide lets researchers work to solve problems that face honeybees, as well as improve the ways beekeepers take care of their bees and assist our farmers. This is me placing a package of bees into a hive at the University of Georgia's Bee Lab as part of a research project on queen bees. So let's talk about the types of bees that are in a beehive. There are three castes or types of honeybees: the queen bee, the worker bee, and drones. Worker bees and queens are all female, but only the queen can lay eggs, and that's all she does. In this picture, we see a queen bee surrounded by worker bee attendants. There's only one queen bee in each colony, and she's the mother of every bee in the hive. Her attendants feed and clean her, so all she has to do is lay eggs. This is a drone. It's the only type of bee that is male. Drones don't do any work in the hive. They don't make wax. They don't clean. They don't act as a nurse bee. They don't even guard the hive, and they don't feed themselves. Girls do all the work in the hive, and all drones do is go out every afternoon to hang out with a bunch of other drones and fly around looking for new queen bees. Let's take a couple of minutes to watch this queen bee laying eggs. She does this all day and night and can lay over 2,000 eggs per day. Watch closely and you'll see that she looks for empty cells to lay an egg in. When she finds one that suits her, she drops her abdomen in and lays an egg. The attendants around her keep close watch and are always grooming her or offering her a snack. She's laid an egg. In 21 days, this will be a brand new bee. Oh, and there goes another one. And with that, we'll bring the presentation to a close. Mac and I hope that you learned a lot about the benefits from bees and how they're connected to our state's agriculture. And we hope that you have a good day. Bye-bye.